Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday message for August 2nd of 2020. My talk today is, what is your I am? When Moses was at the burning bush, he said to God, when I come to the children of Israel and shall say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they say to me, what is his name? What shall I say to them? And God said to Moses, I am that I am. What Moses did not realize at the time, and probably what most of us don't realize either, is that God was giving Moses the key to living the greatest life possible on this earth. It's important to keep our mind, feelings, and words on the truth of our being. And we do that not from the energy of trying to make it happen, but we do it out of the energy that it's just a fact, that it is the truth of our being. We don't strive to make something happen. We make the statements of knowing it's already so. When God told Moses to call him I am, God was not only letting Moses know his name, but that those words were setting into motion the power behind his name. The words I am push the start button for the universal source of all to bring whatever we have declared into manifestation. What most of us don't realize is the power behind this power. It's the power of the entire universe. And what most of us don't understand is that we hold this power in our hands through the use of our words. You know, we're constantly making the statements using the word I, but we don't seem to understand just how powerful the energy is behind that word. Jesus could do what he did because he understood the power behind his words. He didn't make statements lightly. When he calmed the seas, when he raised Lazarus from the dead, when he changed water into wine, no matter what he did, he always took a moment to connect with the fullness of the power within him, so that when he did the things he did, he knew consciously that he was connected to the source power. Jesus recognized his oneness with God. He knew this in his entire being. He knew without a doubt that his own spoken words actually had power behind them. And it was that energy of God that did the work for him. Myrtle Fillmore once wrote that Jesus knew the power of God within him and tried to help us understand that whatever he did, we also could do if we understood where the true power lay. Jesus stated, "It is not I, but the Father within me that does the work." If we could only understand that this power lay within each and every one of us, not only Jesus, we would be able to have our lives change in ways we don't even comprehend. However, it does take great discipline to reach the state that Jesus did. We have no idea how many lifetimes it took Jesus to reach the point he did, where he knew he was God in manifest form, and that all outside conditions were only an expression of his thoughts, words, and feelings, and that none of it was real. We have no idea how many lives it took to discipline his mind, to only hold the truth of his being in his heart and mind. Disciplining the mind takes constant work because we're so pulled by what is around us that we are constantly bombarded with the outside events that have a tendency to pull us into negative thinking. Myrtle Fillmore, in her book Healing Letters, wrote, "You must discipline your mind day after day and control your thoughts so that you will not be full of faith one moment and doubting, wavering, and unstable the next." Myrtle was a great one to use affirmations because it was a way to take charge of the thoughts going on in her mind. Affirmations, she said, are just the right arrangements of words to train the thoughts into harmonious ways. She also wrote, once you have trained the thoughts to be as truth, then and only then will the force of the Christ consciousness come forth into your world, creating the harmony you seek. What she was saying was that we hold so many thoughts in our minds, many times the opposite of each other, that we are sending the power energy in all directions at one time. It's the difference between having a light bulb shining in a full circle and the same light being projected into one tiny beam. The beam is far more powerful than the full spectrum of light. If we were to hold only thoughts of truth in our being, this powerful energy would be focused only on that for our lives. Now, I know that some of us are having a harder time right now doing this because of physical difficulties, financial difficulties, problems in relationships. Right now, we have the coronavirus, and there's so much more going on in our world. So if by making the statement, I am healthy in every way, and you feel this isn't a full truth for you, you might begin by making the statement, I am feeling better every day. And what this does is cause you to look at how you are feeling better every day. Sometimes it takes small steps to reach a point in consciousness where you can fully state, the truth of my being is complete health in all areas of my life. So today, just begin to sense the power behind the thoughts you are thinking and the words you are using in your life. Really look and become conscious of whatever you make, whenever you make a statement, I am, or even when you begin a statement with the word I, because you have just made your declaration to the universal source of all for what you desire for your own world. Once, when Myrtle Fillmore was being interviewed, she told the correspondent, begin to declare that you are strong, healthy, free, wise, powerful, beautiful, and a successful child of God. She stated that affirmations should be on our lips as we move through the day. She suggested that you say to yourself, I am stepping out to face blessings, to face prosperity, to face the glory of life. She indicated that using the words I am is claiming that is God expressing in you, in your mind, in your soul, and your body. She stated that the more you think about I am as your Christ self, the greater will be the realization of your innate righteousness and clarity. In Lessons in Truth, H. Emily Cady makes a statement concerning universal laws. What are usually called the promises of God are certain eternal, unchangeable truths that are true whether they are found in the Bible or in the Almanac. They are unwavering statements of truth that cannot be altered. These universal principles apply to anything and everything. Charles and Myrtle recognized these laws and saw them as unchangeable truths that were present in everything that we can know. These principles, being aspects of God, are omnipresent. Like the physical laws of gravity, they are ever present. It's not a matter of learning the laws as in memorizing a creed or the 10 Commandments. It's a matter of living them. Since they apply to everything and everyone, their application goes to physical life and relative understanding as well as the greater work of unfoldment. When it comes to the universal laws, everyone, regardless of its degree of understanding, can grasp the essential meaning of these universal rules for living. We have to live them or experience them, actually truly know them. No matter at what level we grasp them, they are true and unchangeable, whether we believe in them or not. In his book, The 12 Powers of Man, Charles Fillmore made this statement: when he cooperates with divine principle, man sits on the throne of his own authority, and the elemental force is subject to him. In Talks on Truth, Fillmore wrote, they are in the world as omnipresent principle, having an abiding place everywhere, because they are as omnipresent as the air. No man lives a moment without them, yet few men recognize them. For if God is spirit, the principle of intelligence and life everywhere present at all times, life must be just as accessible as a principle of mathematics and fully as free from formalization. When a mathematician finds his answers to a problem is not correct, he consults the principle and works out the correct solution. The principles do not change. Man makes his heaven or his hell, just as he did 2,000 or 2 million years ago. And Fillmore went on to say, Jesus demonstrated the law of God, and his word was with power. He became the Word of God incarnate because he fulfilled all the requirements of the law. And here, Fillmore is talking about the fact that Jesus came into harmony with the universal laws. And again, in Talks on Truth, Fillmore wrote, but to be or not to be rests upon the immutable law of the Word of God, for only by the light that it sheds can man see and appropriate the privileges that are his by original birth. God never performs miracles, Fillmore wrote. If by miracle is meant a departure from universal law, whatever the prophets did was done by the operation of laws inherent in being and open to the discovery of the average everyday man. In the 12 Powers of Man, Fillmore wrote, God's spirit goes forth in mighty streams of life, love, substance, and intelligence. Each of these attributes is conscious only of the principle involved in it and the work that it has to do. Though it is man's mission to combine these inexhaustible potentialities under divine law, man is free to do as he wills. The divine law cannot be broken, and it holds man responsible for the result of his labors. And in this case, Fillmore means his thoughts, his feelings, his actions. In Lessons in Truth, Katie wrote, God as the underlying principle of all things, God as principle, is unchanging and does remain forever unaware of and unmoved by the changing things of time and sense. Fillmore wrote in Dynamics for Living, the true concept of God is that God is the intelligent principle of the universe, and like all principles, totally impartial in its expressions. It is the science of life, Fillmore wrote. Upon its understanding hinges the happiness or unhappiness of man's existence. It is universal in its unfoldment and application. Divine principle is fundamental truth. God as principle is the unchangeable life, love, intelligence, and substance of being. God as law is principle in action. Everything has its foundation in a rule of action, a law. Divine law is the orderly outworking of the principles of being. In the mind of God, as we talk about mind, we're actually forced to leave the plane of things formed, and we have to enter a realm of pure knowing that goes beyond our earth plane. And Myrtle Fillmore once wrote, that affirmations were the way to do that. She wrote, affirmations are for the purpose of establishing in our consciousness a broad understanding of the principles on which all life and existence depends. If we break the universal law, we suffer limitations. And she wrote, just as a convicted lawbreaker is limited to a cell or a prison. So what is this universal law? And it's very simple. One sentence. The universe responds to every thought and word stated with feeling. I'm going to repeat that again. This is the key universal law. The universe responds to every thought and word stated with feeling. Every thought and word, especially when we use the statement, I am. I am is our connection with God's source to bring us only perfection in our lives. Breaking the universal law is when we use I am with something negative. Charles Fillmore once wrote that the word I am is man's self-identity. And Mark Victor Hansen once wrote, I am is your self-definition and process. Jesus used the same phrase, I am, in 7 declarations about himself. And all of them appear in the book of John. They are, I am the bread of life. I am the light of the world. I am the door of the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. And I am the true vine. But Joel Goldsmith once wrote, was this Jesus talking about himself or about the true I am presence that we all are? So when Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, did he actually state that? Or did he state the I am is the way, the truth, and the life? So was Jesus actually talking about himself? Or was he talking about the I am presence inside all of us? We need to understand what this I am presence truly is, to then take it forward to use in our lives for our own benefit and for the benefit of the world. Fillmore once wrote, nothing will bless the individual to so great a degree as the conscious understanding of these creative words. Life in all its activity, everywhere manifest, is God in action. And it's only through lack of the understanding of applied thought and feeling that mankind is constantly interrupting the pure flow of that perfect essence of life. The natural tendency of life is love, peace, beauty, harmony, and opulence. Life doesn't care who uses it, but it's constantly pouring more of its perfection into our manifestations. And it's always with that uplifting process, as long as we work with the law. The words I am is the activity of life. When you say and feel I am, you're actually releasing this eternal, everlasting life to flow out from you. In other words, you open the door to its natural flow through those words. Fillmore wrote, I am is the full activity of God. It's the first expression of every individual everywhere in the universe, either in the spoken word, a silent thought, or feeling. I am is the recognizing of its own divinity. And Fillmore once wrote, you can say I am, or I am not, I have not, I cannot. Or you can say I am, I have, I can. It's your choice. When you consciously think of the expression I am, it means that you know you have God itself expressing in your life. You can just continually hold the thought, I live, move, and have my being, and all outer expression in the full opulence of God made manifest every moment. In doing this, as Myrtle wrote, You are reminding yourself of this invincible, unconquerable presence, and you keep the door open for its pure, invincible essence and intelligence and perfection to move into your outer world. If at any time anything less than perfection makes its appearance in your existence, Myrtle stated that all you had to do was declare that it was not true and that you accept only God with this perfection in your life, everywhere manifest. Every thought and feeling in the past have built the inharmony that lies within you today. And there's only one thing in this universe that can surround you with limitation, and that is accepting the outer appearance as real instead of the active presence of God in you. You know, here at Unity Clear Lake Center, we say every Sunday, there is only one presence and one power, active in the universe and in my life, God, the good omnipotent. But how often do we think of this God source, this God power inside of us? If we were to put our attention on the I am presence of God in us, as the only power and presence in our lives, we would be healed, prospered, joy-filled, abundant, and more. Joel Goldsmith once wrote, "There are only two activities in life, the inner and the outer. If you will not let the inner govern according to its plan of perfection, then the outer must." One can become so aware of his own God presence that at any time he can see and feel its radiance pouring out to him. The I am is perfection in all things. All of us want a more perfect life for ourselves. We want greater health, prosperity, life, love, peace, harmony, and so much more. If we could understand that the I am presence inside of us, as us, is just waiting to bring this forward into each of our lives, none of us would be resisting meditation. Goldsmith once wrote, "All we have to do is sit, be in a quiet space, connect with our own personal I am presence in use, and declare that the perfection of the I am is coming forth into your life now, in this very moment in time." And then just sit in that energy for as long as you can. Just sit in the energy of perfection and continue to declare that the I am of you is bringing its perfection into your life. So what do you wish for your life today? Do you want greater health? You could say, I am the health of God manifesting in this life. Or I am expressing greater health each and every day. Do you want greater prosperity and abundance? I am the abundance of God manifesting through me. Or greater abundance is expressing through me now. Do you want greater wisdom for your life? The wisdom of God manifests through me now. Or you could say, I am in the flow of God's wisdom now. Whatever you wish for in your life, when you claim it as yours now, using that I am statement, you are using the full power of God within you as you to go forth and manifest in your life now. So I invite you to take some time now to sit in the presence of your own personal God self, your own Christed being, and think of what you would like to manifest in your life. What is it you want to have come to be? And take some time sitting in the quiet of that, affirming that for your life. And as you do, just see and sense and feel your life changing. Much love, everyone. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold